Imagine having sources of income that earn you money 24/7. Well, crypto is full of things that do exactly that. Last month, I made $10,326 with crypto passive income. Across an entire year, that's $124,000 while I sleep. I'm gonna share all of my sources with you to hopefully give you some ideas so you can do the same. Let's jump into my second biggest crypto passive income source, and that is Bitcoin mining. I have 16 Bitcoin miners with a combined hash rate of 1.7 petahash. These are hosted at a facility out of state. They're completely hands off, aside from me paying my monthly hosting fees. I have 6 Bitmain S19 Pro 110 terahash units and 10 S19J Pro 104 terahash units. At today's price, I make $3,756 in revenue. Yearly, that works out to a little over $45,000. My monthly revenue, if Bitcoin were to go back to its all-time high price, would be $11,295 per month. Now, as far as a yearly return on these miners after all expenses are considered and just taking profit into consideration, it's about a 28% yearly return. My fees to run these machines is about $1,800 per month, and I have invested a little over $84,000 to buy these machines. To date, I have mined 0.86 Bitcoin, which is worth about $20,000 today. But the cool thing is that to mine that 0.86 Bitcoin has only cost me about $10,000 so far. So how much does this cost to get started doing? Well, you can actually buy one Bitcoin miner yourself today for under $3,000. And if you're looking for a reputable source to buy those and not get scammed, well, then there's a link in the description for Musk miners. Now, if you were going to buy exactly what I have bought, the 16 miners I have, well, today's price, you'd pay about half of what I did. Now, the bonus on doing Bitcoin mining is that the next time we have a bull run come around, I can likely sell my miners back for nearly what I paid for them, or maybe even way more than what I paid for them. So what are my thoughts on Bitcoin mining in general? Well, if you don't know me by now, you know that I am super bullish on Bitcoin. I am a crypto boomer. And even though I did probably overpay for my miners quite a bit, I am still very excited to have exposure to Bitcoin mining. And as a side note, I think long-term, I won't really care what I paid for my miners. And as a second side note, if I hadn't bought these miners, used my money out of Anchor Protocol to do it, then I would have lost the money anyways. As of right now, I'm currently less than 1 month away from mining 1 full Bitcoin with these mining machines. That's with my miners currently adding 0.164 Bitcoin per month. Now that will decrease over time as Bitcoin becomes more and more difficult to mine, but at that current rate, I will mine roughly 1.8 more Bitcoin for the entire year of 2023. I'm very excited about this one still. Ultra bullish on Bitcoin, of course. If you do want to dip your toes into the wonders of Bitcoin mining, then I would again recommend checking out Musk Miners to buy your actual Bitcoin mining machine. There's also a coupon code down there for $100 off your order. Now, almost $4,000 a month with Bitcoin mining is pretty cool, but it's not actually my biggest crypto passive income source. More on that in just a bit. Next up are my Streamr Nodes. Now, Streamr is a project that wants to connect Web3 with real-time data. Streamr is a fully decentralized and scalable protocol for many-to-many data pipelines, network analytics, and instant messaging. To help accomplish this, you can run a node to support the network and earn a return. I run 5 Streamr nodes with 20,000 data tokens staked on each one for a total of 100,000 data tokens. Monthly revenue on this one is $128, which works out to $1,539 per year. However, if this were to return to its all-time high price, it would be making over $600 per month. The current APY is 35%, but it does shift all the time. How much does this one cost to get started? Well, you can actually start with as little as you want. There's no minimum stake amount per node, but there is a maximum, which is 20,000 data tokens per node. And the cool thing is you can run up to 5 of these nodes per server per IP address. One single max out Streamr node with 20,000 tokens staked on it costs $879 today. It makes roughly $26 a month. My fees for this one is just a $5 a month hosting fee. So far, I've invested about $6,500 into Streamr, and I'm currently down about $2,000. My overall thoughts on this one is that I really like this project. I like Streamr. I like the nodes and I like the return, but I also like the potential with this one. It has a very small market cap. It's currently listed as the 600th biggest crypto on the chart, so it's pretty far down there. So this one has a ton of room to grow in the future. Next up are my Presearch Nodes. Presearch is a decentralized and private search engine that is powered by nodes that are run by people like you and me. You run a node by staking 4,000 Presearch tokens or more and setting up a computer or server. I currently run 40 Presearch nodes, but I actually have about 100,000 Presearch tokens staked across all of them. The monthly revenue on this one is $290, or yearly that's $3,480. If Presearch were to return to its all-time high, these nodes would be making $4,927 a month. The yearly return is currently about 73%. The cost to get started on this one is super easy. It's only $190 to start up one Presearch node. For all of mine together, I pay about $100 per month in hosting fees. So far, I've invested about $7,400 into Presearch, so I'm currently down about $2,500. My thoughts on this one are that I still really like Presearch, and I hope it will shine in the next bull run. It's currently ranked as about the 800th crypto project on the chart, so this one could move like crazy in the right market. There's tons of work that has gone into this project. They have quite a long track record, and there's a bunch of real use cases. My plan is personally just to keep staking and keep earning and keep stacking my pre-tokens, waiting for that next bull run. And if you use my link down in the description to sign up for Presearch, you can earn 25 pre-tokens for free. Next up is Project 79. Project 79 has a bunch of stuff going on, but the main premise of the project is that they have a deal to purchase physical gold from an existing supply chain and then sell directly to a refinery. They're also doing things around the actual mining of gold itself and a few other related things. Through all these means of revenue generation, they are able to pay the people who have invested in the project a little over 6% per month. And they've been doing that pretty consistently since they started. I have about $4,000 sitting in Project 79 right now. My monthly revenue is $256, or $3,072 a year, which works out to a yearly return of about 72%. Now, how much does this one cost to get started? Well, they're actually currently in the middle of a complete transition in their ecosystem. But previously there was a $1,000 minimum to invest, but I'm not actually sure if they're going to keep that going forward or remove it. This is a newer and ambitious project that I would classify as higher risk. However, they do have a real business with real revenue, so I am optimistic about it going forward. Though, like everything on my list I'll be talking about in this video, only invest money into it that you're willing to watch go all the way down to zero. If you are interested in Project 79, there is a link down in the description to sign up for it. Next up is my Raptoreum smart node. Raptoreum is a proof of work, meaning it is a mineable cryptocurrency where you can tokenize anything. Helping power their project are their Raptoreum smart nodes, of which I run one smart node. This currently makes $60 per month, or $720 a year. If Raptoreum went back to its all-time high, this would be making $2,400 per month. This is a yearly return of about 20%. To get started on this one, you will need 1.8 million Raptoreum staked in your node. Today's price, it's about $3,500. I spend about $10 per month for the server to host this. So far, I've invested about $4,000 into Raptoreum, of which it's actually worth $4,500 today. So from when I first invested, it has actually held up decently well, despite the market. That said, it is down nearly 98% from its all-time high. So while it has maybe held up from my point of entry despite the market, it hasn't held up as well as some of the other ones on the list I'm going to cover. However, I still do really like Raptoreum. I like proof of work, and I like projects that bootstrap themselves towards success. And given how small, how teeny tiny the market cap is on this one, there is a ton of potential for this one to shoot back up again. But like many of these that are small market caps, there's also a fair amount of risk. But I am hoping this one does well again in the future, so I'm just running my node and stacking my RTM. Read the manual. Raptoreum. Petition to change your ticker to RTFM. By the way, if you want to learn about things like what I'm talking about here, or get alpha on things before they launch, or see what I'm investing in, what I'm buying, and my trades, then you should join my community, Sleep Money Club. We are currently in the middle of a complete overhaul on the community. You can actually now join for free, and we have multiple tiers if you do choose to go the paid route. Check it out down below. Next on the list is Yieldnodes. Now I'm only going to cover this one very briefly. Yieldnodes' future is very much up in the air right now. Who knows if they will survive or if I will ever see my money again. I have just under $60,000 with Yieldnodes right now that I cannot withdraw. You can look on their website to see what's going on with them, but essentially they ran into a bunch of issues. Despite that, they have promised to keep paying out 5% per quarter, which they did just pay out. However, you can't actually withdraw it. So it might just be some funny money they're making up.
It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction.
However, if this one does survive, I'll be making about $910 per month with it. That's just based on the 5% per quarter and the amount I currently have with them. I'll keep reporting on this one and let you know if I lose all my money or not. Next up is Playa3ull Games. Playa3ull Games is a crypto gaming platform play. An analog to it might be something like Gala Games, just way more early stage, which is a lot of the appeal. I bought 2 Playa3ull Nodes last year. Together these make about $28 per month, or about $339 per year. And its all-time high price would be making $212 per month. Right now, the yearly return is 3.85%. How much does it cost to get started with this one? Well, nodes currently cost $4,400 each. I've personally invested about $2,500 per node, or $5,000 total. As more and more nodes are purchased, the price goes higher and higher, and I just bought earlier because I bought last year. Now, my overall thoughts on this one is that 3.85% as a yearly return is not anything to write home about. I mean, there are savings accounts that pay more than that, but I'm just kind of trying to view this as more of a bonus just for hanging on to all of my tokens. And it's just a bonus that I get while I wait for the project to continue to develop, build up their games and features, and while I wait for the bull market to return. But like many others on this list, the market cap of this one is teeny tiny. So if the market changes, this one could move like crazy in either direction, but hopefully it moves for the better. Next up is Comb Finance with my Comb Hives / nodes and my Zcomb. Comb Finance is a DeFi as a service that is built on Phantom. And in case you don't know, Phantom is a layer 1 protocol like Ethereum, Avalanche, etc. I'm personally a Phantom fan, so I like that Comb has built on top of it. The Zcomb portion of their offering is their revenue share model, where for locking up some of your tokens, you get a share of the revenue that comes from all the various DeFi products they're building. Comb Finance got its start last year in the fake node mania that happened, but they are currently one of the few that has survived and evolved in the market so far. I have money locked up in Zcomb, and I currently run 3 of their nodes / hives. Monthly revenue for this one is $85 per month, or yearly $1,020. Now the monthly revenue, if Comb were to go back to its all-time high, would be $7,425 a month. Though I'm not entirely sure I believe this one will ever go back to those all-time highs. Would love to be wrong on that one. Currently, the yearly return on Zcomb is 57.22%. Now, how much does this cost to get started? Well, you can actually lock up some Comb tokens in their Zcomb protocol with as little as you want. 1 Comb token, for example. And 1 Comb costs $5.55 right now, so it's a very low barrier to entry. When you lock up your token in Zcomb, you get 57% return, but you can also buy their hive / node things in their marketplace. And there are quite a few of those. Of the smaller ones that are under $100 each. So as far as how much I've invested, about a year ago, I put in about $7,000 into Comb. I've taken a few $1,000s worth of profits over that time, but I've also rolled a lot of my rewards over into Zcomb. But I would say overall, I am down quite a bit on this one. So my thoughts on Comb. On one hand, Comb is down almost 99% from its all-time high price. So it's easy to dismiss this one, and I have lost a fair chunk of change with Comb, at least on paper. On the other hand, though, they're still here. And as a project that started its life during the fake node hype that was going on, that says a lot. It's also worth noting that they are building a lot of cool stuff that some people in the DeFi space seem to want to use. And if you're in their ecosystem, they have a mechanism for sharing the revenue from those things with you. So I would say this one is definitely high risk, and there has to be a lot of things that need to happen for this one to work out. But I am optimistic, maybe naively so, that it will all work out. Next up is Blocksquare. Blocksquare wants to tokenize real estate on the blockchain. More specifically, they want to provide the infrastructure for people to do that. You can buy their tokens, but they also have DeFi products where you can earn a yield with their tokens. I'm currently staking about 30,000 of their BST tokens on their Ocean Point Liquidity Protocol product, and that currently makes about $79 per month, or $942 a year. The monthly revenue, if Blocksquare were to return to its all-time high price, would be $282 per month. The yearly return on this is currently a 27% APY, but it does shift up and down all the time. I've seen it as low as 22%, and I've seen it as high as 29%. As far as how much it costs for you to get started, you can get started with as little as you want. You just buy a little bit of their token, put it in your MetaMask wallet, and then stake it on their platform. I've currently invested about $3,500 into Blocksquare. So what are my thoughts on Blocksquare? Well, I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm currently adding to my position, and I plan to continue to add more and more over the coming months. And as I add more money, I plan to continue staking all of my tokens. Now, given how small the market cap is and how solid I think the fundamentals of this project are, I'm very optimistic about what this one could do in the future. Next up is my GPU mining. This one's going to be a very brief one to cover. Over the past month, I have mined a few speculative plays, but those have not yet hit exchanges, so I don't know what they're worth. I am still running 2 GPU mining rigs that have 6 GTX 1660 Ti GPUs each, but my GPUs are off as of right now. I'm going to completely overhaul them and clean them and get them ready to go back online in March. And when they do go back online, it'll be more speculative mining. Now, while I haven't actually made money with this one last month, I'm including this one because in the past I've made some serious money and made some great plays spec mining with my GPUs. I've mined things like Flux and Raptoreum, Ravencoin, Pirate Chain, Kadena, Caspa, Conceal, Nexoa, and more, just to name a few. Those were basically all early speculative mining plays, and those have worked out quite wonderfully for me. Now, of course, I'm not including all the ones that didn't work out for me, which was way more than all of those, but I'm not including those because what's the point? My winners far outweighed all of those losers, and that's what matters in this crypto game. Also worth noting, I am looking to add more GPUs during this bear market. Next up is my Goldshell KD Box Pro Kadena miner. This is a tiny miner that only requires 230 watts to mine KDA. I have one of these that's been running for almost a full year now. Currently, it makes about 20 KDA per month, or 23 bucks, which yearly is $276. If KDA went back to its all-time high, this miner would make $540 in revenue per month. After paying your electricity, your cost, then this returns roughly 19% per year. How much does this one cost to get started? Well, you can buy one of these things online now for between $300 and $400 bucks. As far as my fees or costs, I'm currently paying about $16 per month in electricity. So that means my actual profit on this is about $7 per month. So what are my thoughts on mining Kadena? Well, Kadena's mining difficulty has risen like crazy over the past year, despite the price of Kadena dropping more and more. So I would say it's a tough recommendation for me to say to jump into KDA mining right now, especially because the Bitmain KA3 miners are all coming online right now, and those things are absolute monsters. So I imagine the pickings are going to be even more slim going forward. However, if you have really cheap electricity and you get a steal on one of these miners, well, then maybe it's worth the little experiment for you, especially if you think KDA's price is ever going to soar again like it did last year. If you do want to buy one of these, there is a link down in the description for a reputable dealer. Next up is my Helium Hotspot. Oh, Helium, how far you have fallen. I have one Helium Hotspot running, and I'm only really running it because it's already set up and I don't want to tear it all down, and it costs virtually nothing in electricity to run. My hotspot currently makes about 4 HNT tokens per month, or just under 12 bucks a month, which is a whopping $141 a year. Now, if Helium ever went back to its all-time high price, then this would be $220 per month in revenue. Right now, the yearly return on this is about 54%. If you did want to get started with this, well, it actually is the cheapest it's ever been to jump into. You can hop on eBay and buy a miner for as little as $150. And then you can buy the antenna and other parts you need for about $100 more. I've personally invested about $600 into this for my miner and antenna. So what are my thoughts on Helium? Well, I like the idea of Helium. I made some videos on it. I was pretty excited about this one. However, there's next to nothing going on with Helium on the original LoRaWAN lo-fi network. They grew crazy fast, but didn't actually get any customers to pay to use this network they built. So now they've actually pivoted away from that to all this 5G stuff. And maybe you can make some money with that. Maybe you can transition your hotspot over to a 5G hotspot or buy a 5G hotspot. But at this juncture, I'm not terribly optimistic about Helium in general, but I will keep earning my HNT just in case it ever does have a rise to stardom again. Next up is my Deeper Network Connect Mini. Deeper Network has a few devices which they call a dvpn, or a decentralized VPN. VPN meaning virtual private network. The devices themselves are great to use and super well made. The crypto aspect to this project does have a lot of great ideas, and I was really excited about this one initially. I currently run a Deeper Connect Mini with 60,000 DPR tokens staked on it. That brings me a monthly revenue of $33 a month, or $397 a year. Now, if DPR ever did go back to its all-time high, it would be making over $1,200 per month. The current yearly return on this device, if you have the amount I have staked, is 198%. Okay, how much does this one cost to get started? Well, if you buy the device I have, the Deeper Connect Mini, you can buy that right now, brand new, for $199. Link down below where to find that. And if you want to stake the same amount of DPR that I have staked, you can buy 60,000 Deeper Network token for only $550 right now. As for how much I have invested, oof. This is a painful one. For the price today, the returns are pretty good on one of these devices. However, I have invested a little over $9,000 into Deeper. Now, I have earned a lot more DPR tokens since I started, so now I actually have almost double what I started with. I have 120,000 DPR now, but that's only worth about $1,100 today, so an $8,000 loss on paper. Ouch. So what are my thoughts on this one? Well, I really like the Deeper Network devices. Again, I think they're great to use and they're very well made. And I really did like a lot of the ideas for the project itself. But this one has been really tough. The chart doesn't look great and my DPR is worth next to nothing, but it's all still working and Deeper Network is still building, so I will reserve my complete judgment until I see otherwise. And I'll remain hopeful on this one until the next bull run because I kind of have to. I will say though, if you haven't got into this one yet and you're just thinking about it, if it has indeed hit its bottom, well then this could be a great opportunity to actually enter it. But what do I know, and only time will tell. Next up is ScPrime. ScPrime wants to be a distributed data center providing enterprise-grade cloud storage. And they will do this by having people like you and me run nodes or computers that provide storage to their network. I currently run one of their own devices, their XA-Miners, in the 16 terabyte capacity. My monthly revenue on this was $3.75, or 33 SCP tokens, which works out to a whopping $45 per year. However, my device is only 3% full. It's still very early for this project. Now, if my XA-Miner was to be 100% full, then I'd be making about 1,000 SCP coins a month, which is about $120 or $1,440 a year, which is pretty good. But that's going to take time. Based on my current revenue, if SCP was to return to its all-time high, I'd make about $114 a month with it. And this one gives about an 80% yearly return if my device was full. So how much does this one cost to get started? Well, the 16 terabyte XA-Miner I have costs $1,800, but you can also build your own ScPrime storage node computer server device yourself. Now, what I like about buying the XA-Miner is that it's kind of a plug and play. You get this great, well-designed device, you plug in, you follow the instructions, and you're up and running. So if you don't want to do your own build, then that's probably the way to go. But if you are someone who likes fiddling with things, then you can certainly do a DIY method. If you do go the DIY route, then you do have to buy a license for your device, and they're between $99 and $450 depending on which license you're getting. Okay, so what are my thoughts on ScPrime? Well, I like projects with clear use cases, and SCP has that. Not only that, but they have said to me that unlike Helium, they want slow, predictable growth of their community running these machines. They want that as they onboard new companies and clients into their ecosystem. So instead of putting the cart before the horse, they want to be very purposeful in building revenue before they explode their network. So there's a lot here to like. The only real downside right now is a short-term one, and that's that it's not a big earner. You're gonna need patience and a long-term outlook on this one. My plan is to run my miner and just forget about it. I'm gonna let it passively accumulate SCP in the background as I provide storage to the network. And then hopefully I'll be well rewarded when the next bull run comes around, or when ScPrime starts getting loads and loads of companies and clients and people on their network using and paying for it. Finally, we come to my number one, my biggest crypto passive income source, and the number one position in my main portfolio, which is Flux. Flux wants to be a decentralized Amazon Web Services. They want to host the future of Web3 across their decentralized compute network, and a whole bunch of other things they want to do. To power this network, they have their Flux Nodes. When you stake your Flux and you run a node, you provide computational, hosting, and storage resources to the network, and you get rewarded for it. I currently run 12 Stratus nodes and 2 Nimbus nodes, which means I have 505,000 Flux locked up in nodes. Those nodes made me $4,662 last month. However, it is worth noting that we are days away as I record this from the Flux rewards halving, meaning that when that goes through, all Flux nodes will be rewarded half as much Flux as they are today. So next month is going to be more like $2,331 from my Flux nodes, if the price is exactly the same. Well, except in the next month or two, I will actually earn a lot more than that because of the next Flux parallel asset drop, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. I will say about this whole halving thing, though, is that past halvings have preceded really big price appreciation over the long term. So even though rewards are getting cut in half very soon, I expect over the next couple of years, I will be earning way more in terms of the actual USD dollar amounts from less Flux being rewarded to me. At these new halving reward levels, I'll be making roughly $27,972 per year with my Flux nodes at the current price. If Flux goes back to its all-time high price, which I think it will, and then some, these nodes will be making me $16,759 per month, which I actually did get to see that and enjoy that last year because I've been running my nodes since they launched in 2018, 2019. The yearly return on these is about 14% per year for my Stratus nodes and 16% for my Nimbus nodes. So how much does this one cost to get started? Well, you can run the smallest tier of the Flux nodes called the Cumulus node with only 1,000 Flux, which costs $925 today with a yearly return of 22%, which works out to about $203 per year. Though when slots open, you can actually do their new Flux Titan node tier with as little as 50 Flux, and you get up to a 6.5% yearly return with that. To run these nodes, I pay about $550 per month in hosting fees. As far as how much money I've invested into Flux, I've only invested a little under $9,000 of my own money over the past several years, plus about $2,000 to $3,000 spent on electricity when I was mining Flux. Flux has been my biggest winner by a long shot. I've turned roughly $11,000 into $470,000 at today's Flux price. So what are my thoughts on this one, on Flux? Well, I'm as bullish as ever on Flux. Not only have they held up super well despite this bear market, but as I record this, the price of Flux is actually up like 80% in the past 30 days. And bonus to those people who are in Flux, they're about to pay out their latest parallel asset. Periodically, they reward holders with a new Flux asset on a new blockchain. In the past, they've rewarded Flux on Binance, on Avalanche, on Solana, and they are just about to distribute Flux on Algorand. And when they do that, I will receive roughly 5% of my total holdings as this new Flux Algo asset, which I can then swap to native Flux if I want 1-for-1, aka 25,000 Flux delivered to me as a thank you for holding. And they plan to do more of those going forward. I also want to cover 4 crypto passive income sources that aren't paying me quite yet, but they will very soon. First up is fraction mining. mining, which I've talked about in a video right up there. I have 22 of these NFTs that will pay me a percentage of the mining facility's overall revenue, which my estimate right now says will be roughly $530 per month. The next one is James Pelton's Forex trading NFTs. I bought 6 of these NFTs, which will pay me just under $100 per month. The next one is also a James Pelton related project, which are the Warbots. These are NFTs that represent a share of money that's being used in a crypto trading bot strategy that I get paid out a revenue share from. I got 10 of these NFTs that will pay roughly $450 per month. Next up are Nexoa masternodes, which should be launching this quarter. I have enough Nexoa to run 10 of these nodes. These have the potential to earn several $100s to over $1,000 per month, or way more, depending on how early I get these started up. All of these have not paid me yet, but they should pay me very, very soon. Pretty excited to report back on all of them. And if it's not clear, passive income will change your life. You should watch this video so you can see my entire passive income strategy, not just the crypto ones. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.